Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies coming at you with more old world content. It has been officially announced Old World has its release date. Pre-order will be the 6th of January and the release date will be the 20th of January. So 2-week pre-order starting from the 6th. I promised you guys a video for all 9 starting factions before the release. There is now, of course, only a couple of weeks left and I have 5 videos left to do. So I thought, what a better way to jump into the new year. This is officially the first video of 2024 and I will be delivering you some Empire goodness. So I wanted to pick something interesting for Empire. As you can see, here's a fully painted 2000 point Empire army that I have ready to play in the old world straight away. I have a huge Empire collection, but there's a bunch of gems lying around that I think deserve a paint job finally. And that's what I've chosen for you guys today. 2 models. The reason it's 2 is they go together. They came in the same blister pack. And I think you will definitely enjoy these pieces. Before I get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my patrons. You guys have supported me now for 2 years. And you have been nothing but supportive and helpful. You've obviously helped keep the lights on and the cameras rolling. I say it in nearly every video. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. If you are interested in getting involved in that, there are links in the description below. You get access to a private Discord server and an extra video every single week just for you guys. Now, the second announcement and something that I will be harking on about for most of 2024 is I have big plans for 2024 as goes to subscriber numbers for this channel. My ultimate goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, by the end of 2024. So if you guys would like to help me get there, please smash that subscription button. A plan to incentivize some of you guys to hit that button is I'm going to be giving a Titan away at the end of 2024. The size of the Titan depends on how far I get. So like I said, I want 100,000. If I get to 65,000, I will give away a Warhound. If I get to 85,000, I will give away a Reaver. And if I get to 100,000, I will give away a Warlord to one of my subscribers. That's all you need to do to enter is to be a subscriber on this channel. I think that's a pretty easy way of getting involved. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that button below. Okay, without further ado, guys, let's get in and paint some old world Empire. Okay, and these are the 2 miniatures in question. These are the Duelists. Absolutely stunning pieces. You have the one on the left, which is one of my absolute favorite Empire miniatures of all time, wielding his 2 flintlock pistols and his sword across his hip. I love this miniature. Funny story about these miniatures and me owning them actually is previously, when I first purchased this blister pack in 2009, I purchased it solely for that model, the one with the pistols. And this particular guy here with his sword up in a salute form actually gave it to a friend of mine. More than 15 years later, he finally handed me back a bag, literally like a sandwich bag, a little plastic bag, which had some old Empire swordsmen and this guy. So it was one of those things that I kind of always regretted giving away because he had become so rare and actually quite difficult to find. So when I did finally get him back and I kind of rejoined him with his compatriot, it was a really nice feeling and I knew that I was going to kind of keep them together forever. And of course with the launch of the old world, I thought it was an absolutely beautiful excuse to get them painted up. As for what they'll play as in my Empire army, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I could just use them as generals or captains or whatever, or even just, I don't know, they could be sergeants for squads, you know, wealthy people who bought a commission into the service and have been gifted a unit or brought a unit with them from home to serve in the armed forces. So they're kind of a bit more pompous and a bit more ornate than everything else. As for the painting of these, back in the day, they got left unpainted for so long because, like I said, these were released in 2009. We're now in 2024. Like, we are talking about 15 years ago. And honestly, I was afraid of them. These were some of the craziest detailed Empire miniatures that I'd ever seen. And just the thought of painting them was so scary to me. I didn't know what to do or how I was going to tackle them, how I was going to make them look nice. And now we jump to 2024, and with all of the paint technology that we have these days, the fact that I just get to, you know, give a zenithal spray with a can and then just start throwing contrast in these miniatures and getting results that I'm so happy with in such a short period of time. You know, these miniatures went from models that I was so afraid of to bashing them out in an afternoon kind of thing, and that feels really good. I mean, I do love the fact that we've moved on so much from in the technology of painting miniatures. But on the opposite side of that, people kind of haven't noticed that as we've been going on, because as paints have become more and more kind of, I don't know, amazing, the kind of things that you can pull off with them are incredible. The shortcuts that they give you are incredible. But the models have been getting more and more and more complicated as we've been going along. So we haven't actually been seeing kind of a net speed improvement or anything like that. But when you take these new techniques and then you return to old miniatures, it makes such a difference. It is such a joy to paint these old, slightly more simplistic models from the old world. And it's something that I've been finding ultimate joy in, is getting these random videos out for you guys. And the uptake on the videos has been quite good. You guys seem to be as excited for the old world as I am. I already have my 2000 points of Empire kind of based in new trays and new size trays ready for some games very, very quick. And of course, in the background, I'm working on new Bretonians and getting them. They're actually my old Bretonians, but I'm getting them rebased and repainted and ready for the old world as well. So I am in full swing for the old world. I'm very excited for it. As for the color choices that I went with these particular miniatures, I just went for the old cover art. So the old pictures that came on the clan packs of this guy and the other guy as well. These of course correspond to specific city-states in the old Empire lore, but in the new Empire lore, that's a little bit different. It's both mainly kind of fixated around border princes and stuff like that. Some of them have succeeded. We're obviously in I believe we're in the bit in the lore where there's currently 3 emperors. The empire is very much fractured and cracked and lots of civil wars and stuff going on. So I'm not 100% sure as to where these are based around. Hopefully when I get my hands on the kind of new books and stuff that they did just announce on the 6th, or will be pre-order on the 6th, we will finally be getting more information on that. We'll be able to really enjoy and get our kind of teeth into it. That I'm really excited about. And as you can see, I haven't been going through anything complicated. The grey cedar spray that I put over the top of the black spray, I left that as the primary color for his pants there, and then the gaps in his like frilly sleeves. Used, you know, contrast green, contrast brown, contrast red, contrast black, some skin contrast, some tan contrast for the hair, gold and silver. I'm talking about 6 paints, and then we throw a null shade over the top of the entire thing. And we'll just kind of bring it all together and give us a really nice platform to add a couple of layer paints to later on. And even this result, if I could have just gotten to the result of this shade dry on this miniature 15 years ago, I would have been staggered by my progress. I would have been so proud of myself. Obviously that's not the case. I never did. So yeah, he definitely needs to see a tabletop rather soon. Obviously I've thrown some AK interactive mud texture paste onto his base as well while the shade is drying. And while this guy is drying up, I'm going to move on and get base coats and the basing material on the other duelist. Now, one of the things that I'm super excited for, like I said, with the old world, is the fact that it is coming back. We've seen the first post on this coming back, I don't know how many years ago. And when I read that post, I was both super happy and also super frustrated. Obviously because I was super excited that the old world was coming back, and super frustrated that it was, in that post they literally said years away. It's kind of scary how time flies these days, but at least it hasn't felt like too long waiting around for the old the old world. And that day is kind of finally upon us. I actually can't believe, like thinking back, I still remember vividly reading that first article and them talking about Kislev and Cathay and all those different races that they were going to potentially do for the new game system. Funnily enough, they have all seemed to be pushed to the side a little bit, which is a bit bizarre. And they've decided to focus on some of the more traditional forces to begin with, which I think is a great idea. A lot of people are obviously have these collections already and want to be able to reuse them. A lot of people have a little bit of an upset at the fact that they have only the 9 armies at the beginning. And I've said this before, and I will say it again, I think it is the right choice. You got to remember that the writing team for this is not the same size as the people who like run 40k or run Age of Sigmar. It is a small team of people. So I would imagine it's 5 people that writing these new books. I would rather have 5 people get 9 books right than get 20 books bad. Do you know what I mean? So they want to focus on these 9 to get us started, and then after these have all been redone, after the arcane journals have come out for all these 9 books, I reckon they will start to do the expansions, and they'll They will bring in probably 2 armies at a time and just keep reintroducing. You'll get your vampires back, you'll get your Skaven back, you'll get all your other bits and pieces will return as you're going. Like I said, they're giving you PDF rules for all of these forces at the beginning anyway. So if you are a Skaven player or a Vampire Council player, you can still play your armies right now. And some people are obviously worried about them not being as competitive as other armies. I cannot say that. I have not seen rules yet, so I can't say for sure. All I know is it won't bother me too much. Like I said, I'm in this for the fun of the game system itself. I'm not here to win tournaments or try and make super competitive lists or anything like that. I just want to push big blocks of infantry around the table again. That's what I am most excited for. And I hope that's the same for the majority of people. Once again, having said that, going back to the point of most people have their armies, that's a huge point of concern for me as someone who wants this game system to succeed. If everybody is just taking their old cases out from underneath their beds, dusting off some models, putting them on the table and playing, i.e. there's not a lot of money getting pumped back into this game system, that will obviously be a concern for its continued development and its continued support. So even me, who obviously has quite a large collection of everything, will be trying to kind of pump a little bit of money into the old world, just to show that I am supporting it. So for instance, I have most old world armies already, but I've never done a wood elf army. So that's one of the first armies that I'm going to do going into the old world. So I'm going to buy, build and paint a whole new wood elf army when Games Workshop drop those models back into the rotation on the website again, just to, you know, like I said, show some support. Now obviously not everybody is flush for cash. Obviously this time of year, everyone's just coming out of Christmas. I think it's pretty much a terrible release date for this particular set. Like I said, a lot of people in January are skint, so why they decided to release a game that to me is very, very important in this month, I have no idea. I think a November release would have been fantastic and everyone could have bought it up for Christmas and we could all be talking old world games right now, but obviously they had other ideas. So like I said, I'm nervous, hopeful. I for one am going to be championing the absolute hell out of this game system. I will be running events. I've already been in contact with Underworld Gaming. If you don't know what Underworld Gaming, it is a local independent stockist here in Ireland which specializes in running events. They obviously have a fantastic store and a new online store. You can check them out. I'll leave links down in the description below. But they also run events every single weekend. They are jam-packed. Every evening they've got something on, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, board games, D&D, and then obviously huge tournaments for both 40k, Age of Sigmar, and stuff like that. So I've been onto them to see if they will be doing some old world stuff, and they've of course already said yes, and they've already started the pre-planning of some of their first old world events. So if, like me, you're very excited to get involved with old world content, and you live in and around the Dublin area and want to participate in that, I will also leave links to their Discord down below. You can go jump on there and get talking to all the other awesome people who go to that store, and perhaps you can find yourselves getting involved with a gaming group that's going to be playing Old World, just so that we can get that kind of gaming group going, a solid group of people that we can meet up and have tournaments and play games and really enjoy and invest in. This is something that I really want. Another, for instance, thing that I noticed the other day, which I think Games Workshop have dropped the ball on, is they've released the categories for Golden Demon this year, and there's no Old World category. I think that's a really missed opportunity. I think they should definitely have included Old World as a category for Golden Demon, and we could have been inspired and seen so many artists do these incredible things, which would have just put more light on some of the older, more awesome miniatures and what people can do with them, just to get the word out, get everyone excited. So it would be nice if they could perhaps step forward and perhaps add that category in. I honestly don't know why it's been left out. There's all sorts of, like, you know, small scale, there's Blood Bowl, there's pretty much everything else except for the Old World. That's just my 2 cents. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments below how you feel about Old World, how you feel about its, I don't know, its prospects. If you're excited for it like me, are you planning on purchasing new armies, or are you just trying to kind of dust off old forces and get them cleaned up and back on the table? Which obviously there's nothing wrong with that. The first game that I will be playing will be with my Empire army, and it is a 2,000 point fully painted army already. I've just laser cut some new trays for it, so their bases count as 25s, and I'm literally ready to play right now. I haven't paid a penny yet. Obviously I can't pay a penny yet, they haven't put out anything. But I don't know, it's a funny one. I'm nervous for it and also super excited for it. I guess I haven't been this kind of passionate or excited by anything Games Workshop put out in a long time. And that sounded like I wasn't excited about things they brought out. I'm usually quite excited about things they bring out. I'm a huge Games Workshop fan. I know a lot of you will find that strange to believe, but I'm a huge fan of theirs. I purchase or buy my way into most game systems. I have most armies that exist. And everything that comes out does make me excited, but this is definitely pushing it to 11. I just love it. Yeah. Getting to, like I said, dig out these old models, these Duelist models, which have been, you know, left in a box unloved for 15 years and are now finally getting these epic paint jobs. Suddenly they become these pieces that I'm super proud of and super precious of. Really means a lot to me. And as you can see, I didn't talk specifically a lot about the painting that I've done. I have shown off the paints and you've seen the steps as I've been going along, but I don't expect a million people to have these miniatures that are going to follow along with these guides. Maybe you can take some of the work off of them and apply them to some state troops if you want to. I will probably do some generic state troop armies further down the line. Maybe when the Arcane Journal for Empire actually gets named, or like a date gets added to that, or whenever that gets out, I might jump in and do kind of 6 or 8 different Empire states and do the colors for them and show you guys how to do them and stuff like that. It's probably the way that I will tackle that. But until that happens, I'll probably stick to kind of more exotic videos for the Empire. So I might show you guys how to paint a Demigryph Knight or a Luminarch or, you know, a War Altar or something like that. I also have the Empire Landship from Forge World, which I've been keen to get painted up fully and on a tabletop for so many years now. Obviously, it has no rules currently. So I am wondering when they do bring out their PDF rules for armies that aren't done yet, will we get one for old Warhammer Fantasy Forge World models? You know, like Siege Giants or anything like that. I would be very happy if we got some temporary rules for them like that. So rules for Empire Landship, please give it to me, so I will put that on the table and play with that in so many games. As you can see, I'm not going above and beyond with these miniatures. I threw some base coats on with contrast and a few base paints, gave them a null shade, and then I just layered them up. Obviously, I'm being a little bit neat and tidy. I'm choosing my colors to keep it as like a neutral palette, so it actually looks like kind of fabric and stuff, like something that a soldier might actually wear. The guy, obviously, with his rapier up on him, is much more flamboyant colors in his bright yellows and his blues. So he will look a little bit more standout in the battlefield. He'll probably suffer the fate of a sniper round from Skaven long gun at some point. Perhaps Giselle will get his sights on him and then that'll be the end. But hopefully this Pistolier here will blend in with his fellow troops a little bit better. You'll notice how when I'm showing how to paint these guys off, I'm not showing the paint pots for the skin tones. And that's because I'm not using the Games Workshop skin tones. I'm using, once again, I'm leaning on the crutch that is the Duncan Rhodes Too Thin Coats skin tones. They are fabulous. I love them so much. They've definitely become my paints of choice for painting skin, at least Caucasian skin. For now, obviously I'll be working on some other skin tones moving on forward, especially with the Wave 2 of Duncan's paints, which I got my hands on a little while ago, but haven't had a chance to play around with. Obviously, my Bretonnians are my first new army that I'm painting for the old world. My Empire will be the first one I play with, but Bretonnians will be the first one that I'm actively working on. And like I expected them to be, they're chore to paint. I'm fighting my way through my first unit of 10 knights, which is taking a lot more time than I expected it to. But I'm actually doing a slow grow campaign with a group of my friends. I'm basically calling it a tale of 4/6 gamers. So we have 6 guys lined up, 5 guys and a girl, lined up to participate in this event. My expectation is that 4 of them will finish it off. So that's my goal. If 4 out of the 6 people manage to get a 2,000 point fully painted fantasy army at the end of it, that'll be fantastic. And we can go to events together and play a bunch of games and stuff. So I will be, of course, sharing those people over the next couple of weeks over on my socials, on my Instagram and stuff like that. I'll be talking a lot about them on my Twitch streams. If you didn't know, I do stream on Twitch every single Tuesday and Thursday between 8 and 10 p.m. Irish time. Anyone is more than welcome to pop along. It's basically like an accountability stream. You basically commit to showing up for those 2-hour sessions every week and getting some hobby done, whether that's one of those streams or 2 of those streams, whichever you can make. people have been finding it very useful to have a particular set dedicated time every week to get their hobby done. And I think it is having quite a positive effect on the community. So I do like it. I'm very proud of it. And obviously the guys there are a lot of fun to talk to, and we talk nonsense and have a lot of fun. So if it's for you, jump along and have a lot. If it's not for you, maybe jump along anyway and have a look and see if it is for you. But if not, that's all good. I'm now coming down to the end game of painting up these epic miniatures, tidying up his hair. Obviously I've done the blue and the yellow, and obviously, like I said, he is now starting to stand out quite a lot. His bright colors. I can't believe I did give this miniature away years ago. He just wasn't for me at the time, and now I just think he's absolutely stunning. And there is definitely something about having him kind of put together with his bro painted together. And like I said, I think what I'll do is use them as unit champions for some units moving forward. This guy could lead a sword unit, a sword and board unit. And perhaps the other one could lead a handgunner unit, maybe. His pistoliers would be a brace of pistols firing off as guys are charging in and then defending them. I think that would be pretty cool. I did tone down some of his colors. His brace of medals that were across his chest were supposed to be basically 3 different colors. I thought that was a little bit gaudy, so I decided to take a step back and just do them 3 red medals to match in with his red belt and stuff, and the handle of his sword being red. Just once again, not adding another. He's going to end up looking like a peacock if I start adding in more bizarre colors. A little bit of Corvus black. Tidy up his boots and his gloves. Obviously dry brushing up those bases and made a little bit of a mess. These are the bases that I've been laser cutting myself, the 25 by 25 millimeter bases. I'm quite enjoying laser cutting my own bases and trays. I've done a couple of different versions of them, whether it be new bases or basically like inserts for the old style bases to fit in and expand out. Both the systems seem to work really well. It's just the idea if you want to rebase your armies or whether you want to just move on. Is there any other special Warhammer miniatures out there? Any old world guys that you think would be epic to see on the channel? Because I do have quite an extensive backlog of old world collectible miniatures. Pretty much every race, unless it's wood elves, I have an extensive collection of. So if there is an old, epic metal miniature that you had your eyes on, or an old Skaven character, an old high elf character, an old dwarf character, I pretty much have them all. So if one of those is something you want to see, please do let me know which one specifically, because I still have dwarves, high elves, chaos. Who's the fourth? There was one more other fourth that I haven't done a video for just yet, and that's going to drive me insane. Oh well, I'm sure it'll jump to me. But I still have a couple more videos to do before the launch on the 20th. And I'm also hoping to have a battle report for the old world available for you guys before the official launch on the 20th. So that's something that I may be able to pull together. Maybe why I'm trying to get my Empire Army put on their new trays and ready for some games soon. So if that's something that is also going to interest you, make sure you're also subscribed for that. I'm very excited to play my first game of old. My opponent is basically the person I played the most games of old fantasy with. He is basically my go-to opponent many years ago. So it is only fitting that he is my first opponent coming back. Now he pretty much trashed me in every game I played. He's a very competent player, which is fairly annoying. So hopefully he's gotten old and senile in the years since the game has gone away, and I can just move on from there. So here is my finished duelists. Like I said, I'm quite proud of the results. I'm just pleased that these models are finally painted. I can finally sit on a shelf with the rest of my army, looking pretty clean, looking fresh, and just being awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know this video was a little bit longer and a little bit more talky. If that's something you disliked, please let me know in the comments below as well. I will focus more on the painting, but obviously you guys are in control of that, so just let me know. Okay guys, and there we have it. The duelists are now finished and ready to be fielded with my Empire Army as generals or lieutenants or whatever I need them to be. Maybe even just unit champions for unit of swordsmen, that kind of thing. These are absolutely staggering models that, like I said, I've had for so long in my collection, and I'm so happy to have them finally basically covered in paint, looking well. The rest of the release of these guys, as in when these guys were released, a couple of other miniatures came out. So there was 5 miniatures in total. There was these two, there was a merchant and a scribe, which came together as like the civilians, and then there was a mascot bear with a drummer with him, which was a really cool model. So if you guys would like to see those painted up, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Ask me any questions you want in the comments below. It'll go back to absolutely every one of you. If you're interested in winning a free Titan, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.